Hey, everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today we've got some console Rust news. Specifically, we're talking about the Rust console devlog number 16. And this devlog is filled with amazing news. We're covering everything from horses to farming to actually getting rid of cheaters. Yeah, that's right. We might actually be getting rid of a good amount of cheaters. And if you watched the video I made 1 or 2 weeks ago, you probably know exactly how this is going to be done. But before we get into this devlog, let me say one thing. Someone commented that they didn't like the fact that I was using Rust PC gameplay, which is understandable. And the whole reason I was doing it is because I've been playing other games instead of the console edition of Rust, just because I got a little bit burned out, and I think it's healthy for people to take breaks from games rather than just going until they hate themselves. So yeah, enjoy the gameplay. Now, moving on to devlog number 16. As the month of April comes to a close, we are thrilled to share our latest devlog with all of you. We've got some awesome news to announce, including the release date for the Cultivator update on our main branch of Rust Console Edition. So for those of you playing on the staging branch, you've already got the Cultivator update along with the graphics update. But if you're on main branch only, you haven't seen this yet, and it actually is pretty cool. So you should be excited for that. Also, make sure you hit subscribe because I do give previews of all this amazing stuff along with news videos like this. But that's not all. We've got juicy details on some of the hottest topics the players have been buzzing about. So whether you're a seasoned survivor or a curious newcomer, get ready to craft, build, and scavenge your way through the latest updates in the Rust Console Edition universe. Get your trigger finger ready for farming fun. Ready to get your hands dirty? We've got some exciting news to share about the upcoming Cultivator update for Rust Console Edition. After spending the last couple of months in the public test branch, PTB, we've received tons of valuable feedback from players who had a chance to test it. Thanks to that help, we've been able to fine-tune the new terrain textures and farming mechanics introduced with the Farming 2.0. We're thrilled to see how much enjoyment and positivity this update has brought to the Rust PTB community. So for those of you wondering, this actually focuses a bit more on farming rather than PvP. So this update is actually meant to make more of a community around Rust rather than just a bunch of PvPers killing each other and saying obscenities. There are still a few areas we want to improve and some bugs to squash before we release Cultivator over on the main branch. To that end, we'll be rolling out one more update on the public test branch during the first few weeks of May. This final round of testing will ensure that Cultivator is as stable and polished as possible for when it lands on the main branch. So by that, they mean it's going to be stable and polished until they release it on the main branch, at which point it's going to completely destroy everything. People are going to complain for a week, forget about it, and then buy a bunch of skins. Moving on. Why is the Cultivator such an important update for Rust Console Edition? Well, for one, it opens up exciting new gameplay opportunities with its revamped farming mechanics. On top of that, the terrain revamp is also critical for optimizing the game and paving the way for community servers in the future. So this means that community servers are getting closer. I don't know exactly what that means, but the fact that they're getting closer is always a good thing. In short, this update is a game changer, and we can't wait for you to experience it firsthand. So for those who are wondering, this is the only sort of community server update that we get in this whole devlog, but it's interesting to know that this is a key piece to releasing community servers. Hopefully this means we're going to see them come summer. You never know. So mark your calendars. Cultivator will be released to the main branch on May 25th, 2023. Get ready to unleash your inner farmer and reap the rewards of your hard work. I'm glad they put the year there, because if they said May 25th, I could have made a joke about being 2024, 2025, or 2026. But they confirmed to 2023. Moving on. From guns to gardens. In early April, we hosted a playtest weekend over on the public test branch, where we challenged our community to build some of the most epic farm bases and to show off their creative skills. We were blown away by the results, as the designs spread across the 10 playtest servers were absolutely incredible. We've recorded some of the most impressive bases and created our first community-driven montage. Have a look and let us on Twitter or Discord if you spot your creation. And they probably meant to say let us know. But yeah, if any of you spot your creations, make sure you do let them know on Twitter or Discord. Also, comment down below in the video, because that helps with engagement stuff. We absolutely love seeing what our fans can create, and that's why we want to encourage even more positive community interactions. We'd love to create more events like this in the future, showcasing fan creations and bringing our community together in exciting ways. So keep creating, keep sharing, and we will highlight the best coming from the Rust console community. And also, for those of you wondering, the penis base did not make it for obvious reasons, but hey, I tried. Now, yeah, it's actually really cool to see them doing a lot more community stuff, and it's not just PvP montages or something like that. They're actually encouraging the community to be friendly, creative, and everything like that. Yeah, I actually think this is a really good thing, and it's really cool to see. This reminds me a lot of these, like, it just makes the game friendlier, nicer, and everything like that, which I think should always be encouraged. Next up in Rust Console Edition, as previously announced, the next update after Cultivator will be Horsepocalypse. With it, everyone will be able to ride horses, which is by far one of the most requested features for Rust Console Edition. So there's a lot of you that are popping bangs right now, or monsters, or maybe you're just popping some sparkling water because you're rich and hit the donate button. But that's not all. We would like to bring some features that recently have been introduced to the PC version of Rust, as they are directly related to horse riding, as well as other smaller features that have been highly requested by our players. In addition, stables will also be introduced, as they are an integral part of the update. So for those of you wondering, I think they're actually going to introduce double saddles for horses, which means 2 players can ride horses instead of 1. I think they're just going to launch Horsepocalypse with those double saddles. I think that's what they're referring to. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. If I'm wrong, make sure you come back and tell me off for it, but I really do think I'm right on this one. Moving on. Between the release of Cultivator on the 25th of May and the arrival of Horsepocalypse to the public test branch, we want to take some time to make sure there are no critical bugs in the game. So maybe this is going to be that sound bug on boats that's been plaguing the game since release. Let's see. And that we can advance with the development of new features over on PTB without hurting the experience for our players over on the main branch. It's crucial to keep this balance between new content and game polish. Judging by our online interactions, this sentiment is echoed by the community, making it an even stronger argument to why we need to do this way. So they're completely correct here. They need to focus on fixing bugs, along with releasing new interesting content for players to play around with. I think releasing some big thing every 2 to 3 months is a pretty good sort of rhythm that they've fallen into. I think the PC version Rust is moving a little bit faster, but there's a lot more money behind it. Also, I think as they shore up the gameplay, as they make bugs just disappear more and more, you're going to get less people jumping into the game and then leaving because something crazy happens to them. The one thing I really think they need to focus on, though, is community servers. Because let's be honest, as a new player, you need those beginning servers, those PvE servers where you can just build and play the game and get used to everything. If you jump in and all of a sudden you're banged by 10 men, well, that's just no fun unless you're into that sort of thing. Which, let's face it, most of us aren't, but we're still forced to participate. Third-party devices. The use of third-party devices to gain an unfair advantage in Rust Console Edition has been a concern for the community since the game's release. Pause right here. So there's been a few people that are telling me mouse and keyboard using Xim and Zen and all that stuff is not cheating. This here definitive statement from the developer saying that this is cheating. Boom. No more arguments, nothing. You're out. You know it's cheating. If you've commented on my videos before saying you're not a cheater, right here, the devs have called you a cheater. I've called you a cheater. Most of the community's called you a cheater. It's official. You're a cheater. Like, maybe you didn't understand what was going on because you've got an IQ lower than the number of fingers on your hands. But right here, they called it out. So if you can read, if you can understand English, it's time to unplug that device if you don't want to be called a cheater. Otherwise, you are 100% cheating. I don't care if you threaten to unsubscribe. I don't care if you threaten to go watch another YouTuber. It doesn't matter to me. It's cheating, and you shouldn't be doing it because you're ruining the fun for other players. If you're cheating in a single-player game, have at it. I really don't care. Use a mouse and keyboard. Use 20 mouses, 20 keyboards. I don't care. It's a single-player game. That's called modding. You're having your fun. You're doing it your way. When you're playing against other players, especially competitively, that's not how it works. Now, moving on to the rest of this vlog, because this... I got a little flustered there, but hopefully everybody understands. Because I've been hearing these comments so much about people saying, like, it's not cheating, it's not cheating. I'm arguing, going back and forth. There's a lot of threads on it. This is good. I'm glad that they finally gave this statement. These devices include mouse and keyboard converters for console players, as well as mouse and keyboard converters. Boom, right there. They called it out. You can't even say it's scripts that they're talking about, as well as scripts that minimize weapon recoil and enable the use of macros. We understand the frustration this causes for those of us who just want a fair and fun competitive experience, and we are committed to finding new solutions. To combat this issue, we are continually improving our auto detection systems and developing new ones. We will not disclose when or how these systems will be implemented, but we assure you that we are taking this issue seriously. Additionally, the introduction of community servers in the future will offer server owners the ability to restrict access to players suspected of using third-party devices, providing server owners with tools they need to help fight against this unfair practice. So most likely server owners are actually going to be able to see recoil patterns and things like this, and that means that they can easily tell if you're cheating, or they can tell if you've got 4,000 hours, and then they can go check if you actually have it. If you got 100 hours in the game and you're getting recoil, like no recoil, they know you're cheating. Also, we also want to reduce the number of false reports we receive, and we need your help to achieve this. Please note that hacks like auto-aim, invincibility cheats, see-through walls, and infinite ammo are not possible in Rust Console Edition because consoles do not allow users to modify local game files. This is somewhat true. There's a few players... There's a few people who actually probably could pull this off, but it's very rare. We're talking about like people who are really a part of that modding hacking community. Most of them don't mean any harm. They're going to play the game just to show they can do it and then move on. So for the most part, these don't exist. I just wanted to add that caveat there. However, some game scenarios can create a misleading appearance, such as when players' high ping causes shots to appear to hit when they do not due to server lag. We kindly ask you to raise awareness about this issue, as false reports only create more noise and make it harder for us to take action against actual cases of third-party device usage. So this is true. Look, there's any sort of cheat that isn't someone just getting recoil down like Pat and it just feels wrong, or just aiming a little too, or doing something with their character that you wouldn't expect. Anything like seeing through walls or anything like that, there are glitches in the game that'll allow you to see through bases and stuff like that. But it's a lot harder to abuse those glitches, and if players do, it's very hard for the devs to tell someone who's honestly just that glitch has appeared and someone who's causing that glitch to appear so that they can cheat. So it's really not worth reporting that because there's nothing the devs can do about it. They can't tell who's glitching on purpose in this case. If someone's going under rocks or something like this, that you can probably report. But again, like high jumps and stuff like that, a lot of the time you're just going to see it. Like if you follow the Rust console community, you know that these glitches happen, but usually it's the players who don't really want it to happen. It's at inopportune times and players end up dying because of them. And every now and then there's someone who's figured out how to abuse it, but it's very hard for devs to even tell if someone's abusing it or just getting very lucky with when those glitches happen. So moving on. That's all for now, fellow survivors. We hope this devlog has provided you with some insight into the upcoming Horsepocalypse update and the efforts we are making to combat third-party devices in the game. Remember, Rust Console Edition is a constantly evolving world, and we couldn't do it without your support and feedback. Keep an eye out for more updates in the near future, and as always, gear up and go leave your mark on the island. Yeah, overall, this was an amazing devlog. I love that they're combating cheaters. I like that horses are coming. I like that they're focusing on fixing bugs. If they can come through with everything that they said here and then drop community servers in the summer, honestly, I'd say they've turned the game around and that more players should be given it a chance. But yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed, toes crossed, and stay hard. Until next time, peace.